Welcome back to the channel. In the previous video I talked about the meditation practice and the process of healing for the physical body. In today's talk I want to continue with the healing concept, and in doing so will draw attention to the negatively polarized and positively polarized souls and their respective ministries that bring balance to universal law. That is, each ministry provides for the other's needs. This is an extremely difficult explanation to put into words, so please bear with me. Negative entities will provide the positive entities with a catalyst that should challenge the positive's comfort zone. A sort of auto-suggestion, if you will, that despite their positive service to others' stance, they are not immune from failure. And it's time to be contemplating the detrimental results that might lie ahead in their quest for soul growth. The negative deception is to instill fear. When you're fearful of something, it will dominate your thought process. We've all been there. The consequential struggle can be termed as a provision of a catalyst, a part of the pre-incarnative strategy for the positive soul's growth. For the negatively polarized soul, there is growth through the provision of the catalyst and its success in the intended deception, even if the deception didn't last. So what can we take from this? Is that the infinite Creator has built in the necessary universal soul growth balance that is needed for all fractal souls to have the opportunity for soul growth. It is posited that negatively polarized souls do not proceed beyond the fifth density in a negative form of mind. There comes the realization that they have to trend toward positive polarity in order to integrate with Source in the eighth density. And of course they do so. Having established the balance of polarities in the octave, you should be asking the question, well, what does this have to do with the healing of the body? Which is a great question. The production of a catalyst by a negative entity is sometimes called a cosmic greeting, and is that which provides the positive entity with an opportunity to grow beyond its fear of failure. The exchange between these two differently polarized entities serves as a focus on the oneness aspect that pertains to all fractal souls in their respective soul growth journey. That is, in that we are all one, whether negatively or positively polarized, whether we are service to self or service to others. Because we are all fractals of Source. That is, all are one and all are Source. So to return to the initial question, how does all this relate to the healing of the physical body? It must be understood that before a healing of the physical body can become a reality, the healing energy must flow from the etheric or energy body in time-space to the physical body in space-time. And this must happen through the connection between the conscious and the subconscious minds. That is, the flow of energy must penetrate the veil and register the change of condition with the conscious mind. The conscious mind then translates that into an experience of its own physical bodily healing. A physical body healing is required because there is an underlying physical condition, an illness or sickness, if you would rather call it that, of which the positively polarized soul seeks to be healed. The cause of this underlying sickness is a biological chemical transaction that takes place between the mind and the physical body, when the entity believes that the instilled fear has a tangible truth to it, and therefore necessitates a contemplation of potential outcomes. This contemplation is induced by the ego. The ego, if you remember, is only trying to protect the entity from a sudden surprise brought on by any potentially disastrous outcomes. Should a viewer of the session today have a condition of that physical body that requires a healing, if you can arm yourself with the understanding I've provided, then there's no reason why such a healing should not take place. I know this may come across as somewhat convoluted and difficult to understand. After all, I have the advantage of knowing and understanding the raw material. But I assure you, all type of healing is absolutely possible for you. There are other considerations to be made in the facilitation of such a personal healing, and these are to know what the causes of illness and sickness generally are. Number one, the overzealousness of pushing your physical and mental state to the point that weakens your immune system. Number two, entertaining negative emotions such as hate, anger, or fear. Number three, possible blockage of relative energy centers. Number four, when following a regime of body cleansing, it sometimes happens that the steps are not given an appropriate time limit to assimilate the full essence of the healing. This may lead to jumping ahead to the hopeful conclusion of the healing, an action that will negate the intended result and leave one with the sickness. Number five, by not realizing that the veil in place is preventing one from understanding that a pre-incarnation plan was in place for the catalyst to be a part of the soul growth process. That is, if you have received a catalyst via a negative entity, it was part of the pre-incarnation process to enable you to deny the deception and installation of fear with regard to your standing. So, a quick abbreviated summary of what I've talked about today. A. The balance the Source has created between negatively and positively polarized souls in the universe. B. The connection between the physical body's healing and the different ministries of these two polarities. The catalyst or cosmic greeting supplied by the negative and the fear that is instilled in the positive thought process. C. The reasons why sickness, illness can become lodged in the physical body and how we can prevent that from taking place, or how we can overcome the effects of sickness, illness persisting in the physical body. I'm reminded of a Jan Nolan of the Inspired Tribe video when he spoke about the principles that speak to every soul's dilemma of making decisions about the salient points that are provided by the universe for our attention. And these were, whatever happens to us is the only thing that could have happened. Whomever you encountered is the right person for you to encounter. All people whom you encounter are the correct people. And the application of the 10 Native American commandments, all to do with how you treat others and how you relate to the earth and how you relate to the Great Spirit, is the correct application of the soul's energy. These 4 principles of our soul conduct should be our guide in every encounter we have with current circumstances. And as in all my other talks of this nature, we do not give in to the fear factor that is presented as a way to be prepared for all the circumstances that are foisted upon us in this current nexus of timelines. The answer to all the dilemmas that these bring can be effectively countered by the observance of the 4 principles of soul conduct I've just alluded to. Well, that's all we have time for on this expose of Spiritually Conscious Soul 101. But before we close, please remember to hit the thumbs up and subscribe buttons below. It is vitally important that should you resonate with this message, you encourage others to subscribe, and in doing so, keep this channel active and relevant. If you would like to leave a comment, please make use of the comment section provided below. Thank you for watching my channel, and be sure to catch up with the latest material on the next viewing of Spiritually Conscious Soul 101.